With the IEM Rio Major starting in 8 days and 21 hours as of right now, I thought I would make my pickups. So first of all, you can always start with just the obvious ones, which at least for I think will easily get through. Or maybe not easily. And after that we can make adjustments. And some depth 03 as well. Although this is a bit... I think I will do actually this for now, probably. This is the initial ones I would put in. Then we have the matchup calculator here, in which we can calculate which matchups will be most likely. OG over Greyhound, Vitality over Imperial, EG over IHC, although I could really see IHC winning, so truthfully, doesn't really bother me that much if you put IHC over this. Cloud9 over Fnatic, Fury over Big, 00 Nation over BNEs, Outsiders over Mouz, Gamer Legion over 9C. Here is what problem starts occurring, right? So OG over Furia could be a really good way to go, but at the same time Furia could get the massive crowd buff, considering Legend stage and the Challenger stage is gonna be played in front of a crowd. But there's also previous evidence that maybe Furia doesn't really perform the best in front of a crowd, so I'm still gonna pick OG. I feel like I'm more confident in OG actually winning this matchup. I will pick Vitality over Serious Nation, Outsiders over EG, Cloud9 over Gamer Legion, Big over Greyhound, even though Big has a stand-in in Sin. I'm fairly sure there are two lineups Sin instead of Faven, so still think they should be able to beat Greyhound, considering they have played some tournaments now with Sin. They look okay, not anything significant. BNE over Imperial, I could see BNE winning, considering it's a best of one. Anything could really happen. It's not really... I mean, and I can see both parties winning. I can see this. But I'm gonna go for BNE because I watch more BNE, don't really watch that much Imperial. So I wouldn't have that, I don't have that much confidence in them overall. Yeah, they might get a crowd buff, but quite frankly, I think Imperial is just happy to be there. I think they're just a team that's just happy to be there, and that's it. Mouz versus IHC, Mouz and Fnatic over 9C. Here is where the problems start beginning. For real though. Cloud9, Vitality. Vitality is currently the #1 ranked team in the world, but we just saw them in the Blast Showdown, where they failed to win against Australis, that fields a stand-in in Mr. So quite frankly, even though it's online and this will be on LAN, and I can guarantee Vitality has a boot camp right now in Serbia, I think it is, where they will go over the king. I was gonna say kings, but maybe that's not the right analogy. But go over through and smooth out all the problems. But so does Cloud9. I can always bet on Cloud9 performing in these types of group stages. It's when we get into the Legends I'm a bit less sure, but they should be at least a guaranteed lock for the Challenger stage. So I'm gonna go for Cloud9, even though, I mean, technically Vitality is #1, but are they really #1 though? Like, are they? And since I did predict Outsiders, if you look at the matchup, Outsiders play Mouse Sports, EG, assuming everything else goes the same by EG, and then OG. which is definitely a very plausible and very likely matchup that outsiders actually could win, considering they did get some momentum winning the Rotterdam, IEM Challenger Rotterdam, against, which team was it? I can't, ENS I think it was. I think it was ENS in the final. So I'm still gonna go for outsiders. 0-0 Nation versus Big, I'm gonna go for 0-0 Nation over Big, considering Big does field a stand-in, Fury over BNE, Fnatic over EG, Mouz over Gamerly. This is a very 50-50 matchup, considering it's a 1-1, so it's a best of 1. I could definitely see Gamer Legion winning. I'm gonna go for Mouse Sports for now. Imperial IHC, I'm gonna go for Imperial. Mainly because I don't really think IHC, when they will have the crowd against them, could really perform to that high of standard. That's all there is to it. And it's a best of 3 as well. I think it's a best of 1. IHC could definitely win. But consider this a best of 3 elimination, backs against the wall. Imperial should win this. They should win this. 9C versus Greyhound. I did watch some 9C in the Fire Flow League that was in Barcelona. And I'm fairly sure 9C is gonna win. They show that they can win occasional matchups and things like that. Quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if they win versus Fnatic or Gamer Legion for that matter. They could definitely win in a best of 1 easily, and in a BO3 against Greyhound, definitely possible as well. Round 4 contains Vitality Furia, OG 0-0 Nation, Fnatic Mouse, Gamer Legion Imperial, EG 9C, BNE Big. We already have the 3-0s and 0-3. In Vitality Furia, I do think Furia... no, I think Vitality is gonna win this actually. I do think that mainly because I do think Furia, when they play in front of a crowd, actually do get a bit worse. They might change this time around because they will have majority crowd on their side. But overall, I don't really think Fury has impressed me basically at most parts of this year. There was this one time in Pro League when FaZe won at the last Pro League, or the previous before that, where they did make it to semis, but overall not really that impressive a year for Furia. Nor have they shown any sorts of indications that it's gonna change or something is gonna happen. Some change is gonna happen. So I'm gonna go for Vitality. If anything, I think Cyber can single-handedly basically drag them through this matchup, even though it's a best of 3. I will go for OG over Serious Nation. I will go for Fnatic over Mouse. I will go for Gamer Legion over Imperial. Because in truth, I think in this type of matchup, I don't think Gamer Legion really feel any pressure to perform, while I think Imperial will feel the pressure. The expectation of a home crowd and the expectation of winning and going through is what I think will let Imperial down in the end, compared to Gamer Legion, who I think is just happy to be at the major grind, frankly. So I do, especially it's a 1-2, so even if they win this, they can't really guarantee they will make it through. So I think the pressure is not really on Gamer Legion this one. Just to show in case Imperial win, they play 0-0 Nation. Yeah. They play 0-0 Nation, assuming... or Furia, so it doesn't really get any better, does it? For the matchup, But I still will stick with my guts and say Imperial will lose this. Because Game League has shown to be quite a good team. Knocking out G2 one win, playing really close to Team Spirit and FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan was triple overtime or quad overtime. Spirit was double OT, I think. Both on Mirage, though, so a bit of known on map pool wise for Gamer Legion, maybe. If you don't look at other matchups or online tournaments, that is. For the final round, we have Mouz Sports versus Big, which I do think Mouz can get through, maybe, although they are kind of chokers in the big matchups. So I wouldn't put it past Big actually winning this. Because when it comes to big matchups, I think a lot of the Mouz players are actually underperforming heavily. In fact, I think Dexter, the IGL of Mouz, is probably the one to look for in a high pressure match. Maybe Frozen as well, but that's because Frozen is just really good. The others are academy players or ex-academy players. We can't really call them academy players. Maybe for Exertion, who newly got promoted, but Torsa and JDC should have had enough time to climatize to tier 1s, really. There's really no excuse for them, really. So I will... Actually, this is such a 50-50. It all depends on which maps are being played. But in a high pressure match, which would I count on winning? I think I would count on Big, actually. I think I would. Oh, it's such a map-based matchup. Oh, which map do Mouz ban? Overpass? Do they ban Overpass? I think they ban Overpass. Big bans. I have no clue what big bans. Don't watch Big that much. I could. I go for Mouz, screw it. I think Big with a standing will just let them down. 9C over. No, Serious Nation over 9C. And Fury over Game Legion. We'll just go with that. That's what my gut instinct tells me, so we'll just go with that straight up. So the 3-0s, Cloud9, Outsiders, then going through Vitality, OG, Fnatic, Mouz, Serious Nation, Imperial. 0-3s, IHC, and Greyhound. So I don't really need to change that much, do I? Mouse, Serious Nation. I basically had them. Because Big doesn't make it, because I predict them to lose to Mouse. So 0-3s might go 3-0, might not. But either way, I will get basically 1 point for Cloud9. 1 point for Vitality, almost guaranteed. OG as well. So that's 3. Almost guaranteed that Furia makes it through. Same with Fnatic, and almost certainly that Greyhound does go 0-3. Contention for IHC to be put up there as well. Serious Nation and Mouse might go through, so that is a very plausible thing to put. Oops. If we check here again, there's obviously a possibility that this happens and this happens, in which, I mean, F. But of course I could easily put Mouse where it's up here and just change them in case, right? To just get 1 more point. But hey, I wanna go for all the correct ones and not to be a pussy about it, so this is what we are going for. These are my challenger picks locked in: Outsiders, OG, Vitality, Cloud9, Furia, Fnatic, Mouseport, Zero Nation to go through, and Greyhound to go 0 and 3. Bye bye.